and a very good morning to all of you, and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, the most comprehensive preparation app for all exams. So as we all know, from Monday to Thursday, 11 a.m. in the morning, we come up with the Hindu analysis. Today is Wednesday, that is 28th February. And am I audible? मेरी आवाज आ रही है? Very good morning. Okay, so let's just start with this article. 4 Indian Air Force pilot named as possible Gaganyaan crew. So we'll be discussing about it. Then BJP gains in Uttar Pradesh, Himachal, Rajya Sabha polls amid cross voting. So these two articles we will be discussing it. So let's start with this one. 4 Indian Air Force pilots named as possible Gaganyaan crew. Now what is Gaganyaan? So Gaganyaan is a future mission of ISRO. Future mission of ISRO, in which humans will be sent inside. Humans will be sent to space. Okay, so this is the main target, है ना? So the Gaganyaan एक मिशन है इसरो का, जो कि फ्यूचर मिशन है, जिसमें ह्यूमंस को स्पेस में भेजा जाएगा, and this ISRO will be doing it for the first time. Means India will be doing it for the first time. So in the past till now we have not sent any humans into the space. Okay, this you should be knowing it. Now, so these are the 4 people who have been chosen for that. Group Captain Prasant Balakrishnan Nair, Group Captain Ajit Krishnan, Group Captain Angad Pratap, Wing Commander Subhanshu Shukla. So just remember these 4 names if possible. Try to remember it because they can be asked in the exam. So PM Modi dedicate 3 ISRO facilities to nation. So actually he was present at Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Thiruvananthapuram. Okay, Vikram Sarabhai is also famous because he was the first chairperson of INCOSPAR, and which later became ISRO. So in fact, he was the first chairperson or chairman of ISRO as well. Okay. Now, Vikram Sarabhai is also known as what? Father of Indian Space Program, है ना? Father of Indian Space Program. Okay. So he was present there, VSSC in Thiruvananthapuram, what we call it as Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. तो यहाँ पर है. So in Kerala, नीचे में एकदम मिलेगा, है ना? So here actually, so this thing, जो ये photo है ना, यहीं की है ये वाला. This one photo is from Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Thiruvananthapuram. Okay. Yes. Now, so you can go and read about it. Here is rockets, launch vehicles, artificial satellites are manufactured. So this is the ISRO facility where all these things are actually manufactured. Earlier it was called as Thumbai Equatorial Research Rocket Launch Center. Now it is called as Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in the memory of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of Indian space program. Okay, yes. Now, so shortlisted through a rigorous selection process, these 4 people actually have been chosen. They were initially trained at Russia, and not trained at astronaut training facility by ISRO in Bangalore. So that is what you should be knowing it. So मैंने बताया नहीं कि earlier actually Russia had trained these 4 Gaganyaan astronauts because Russia has in the past sent a lot of cosmonauts. Cosmonauts are actually astronauts which are sent by Russia. That's they use the word cosmonaut. So that is why Russia has trained them, and now even at the astronaut training facility which is in Bangalore, they are being trained and all. Okay, so that is what you should be knowing it. So Gaganyaan mission is a future mission where humans will be sent in low Earth orbit and all. So that is what you should be knowing it. Yes. Okay, so India will have its own space station by 2035, says Prime Minister. So he has said that we'll be having our own space station by 2035. And he has called all those 4 individuals, the 4 people, as Shaktiyaan. So in चारों को, these 4 the IAF officers, they have been called it as Shaktiyaan. Okay, and they will be sent in a mission called as Gaganyaan. Okay, okay, yes. So that is what you should be knowing it. Now, so addressing the ISRO scientists at Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, this is what PM Modi said, that India will once again go to the moon and bring back samples from the lunar space. So we'll be again sending a moon mission. Like last year in August, we have sent Chandrayaan 3, right? Very similar to that. These are the things being talked about. Okay. अच्छा एक चीज आप पता होना चाहिए कि we have in the past sent an Indian into the space, that is Rakesh Sharma. But it has not been sent by ISRO. It has been sent by USSR actually. Okay. So an Indian has already gone into the space in 1984. It is true, but it has not been sent by ISRO. But it was sent actually by USSR. Okay. Or so Soviet Union, and now it has been broken. So now it is called as Russia. So just have an idea about that. Okay, now since the Prime Minister is talking about our own space station by 2025, so similarly, let's learn about the space station. Like the first space station is actually International Space Station, which of course you will find it in low Earth orbit, where actually they can go, the astronauts can go and stay there also. Okay, and this was actually made not by one country but a lot of countries. So NASA, Russia, Japan, European Space Agency, Canadian Space Agency, these countries were actually involved in actually this, okay, construction of this. So similarly, China has actually decided to construct its own space station, and this is called as Tiangong Space Station. Okay. So similarly, we also have our plan to make our own space station and all. Okay. Okay. फर्स्ट पेज में काटी थी बीजेपी गेन्स इन उत्तर प्रदेश हिमाचल अमिट क्रॉस वोटिंग. सो क्रॉस वोटिंग क्या होता है? सो अ पर्सन एन एमएलए, देखो एक्चुअली क्या होता है, राज्यसभा इलेक्शन, इन राज्यसभा एमपी इलेक्शन, द इलेक्टेड एमएलएज वोट, है ना, टू चूज देम. Now what happened, let's say in Himachal it became very famous. Actually, BJP's Rajya Sabha stand in Himachal triggers more worry for Congress and all. So this was in the news. Now what happened was, कि देखो, the BJP had only 28, the BJP actually won it. But I mean, as expected, it should have been Congress. So they have only 25 MLAs out of 68. Whereas the Congress had 40 MLAs. So most likely the people were planning that Congress candidate will win. But what happened was, out of these 6 MLAs actually voted in favor of a BJP candidate. Okay, so this is called as cross voting. That you are from one political party, you are an MLA from one political party, but when you are voting for a Rajya Sabha, you are voting for some other political party candidate. So this word is called as cross voting. Now, so from Congress, the candidate was so from BJP, the candidate was Harsh Mahajan, and from Congress, the candidate was Abhishek Manu Singhvi. He is a very famous lawyer, Supreme Court lawyer as well. Okay, so however, he lost it. Why? Because of 6 Congress MLA cross voted and 3 independent MLA also supported the BJP. Okay, so that is why this happened, and instead of Congress candidate, actually the BJP candidate won it. Now, so the Chief Minister is Mr. Sukhwinder Singh Sukho. He's from the Chief Minister from Himachal Pradesh. Now, what happened was, the BJP Legislative Party members met the Himachal Pradesh governor because they might initiate a no confidence motion in the Legislative Assembly, and maybe we're not sure, but the government might fall in the state of Himachal Pradesh. The reason is because, see, there are 68 MLAs. If you see, there were ideally Congress should have 40 MLAs, but 6 have actually gone and cross voted. Okay. So now the Congress is left with 34 MLAs. Okay. Total 68, the Legislative Assembly has 68 MLAs. So in order to get elected, in order to have your own Chief Minister, you need half majority. So you have to cross the half mark. So this is 34. You have to cross the half mark, means you need at least 35 MLAs to have your Chief Minister. And if you see it here, currently the Congress has 34 because 6 has cross voted. Okay, so maybe if the no confidence motion will happen, maybe the Congress might not be able to save the Chief Ministership and all. So that is why it was in the news that maybe the no confidence motion will be issued in Himachal Pradesh and all, and the leader of opposition actually went to meet the governor and all. So this you should be knowing about it. Okay, so let's see what will happen for that now. So the BJP candidate Harsh Mahajan actually defeated Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Okay, yes. Let's move on to the next one. Land reforms top agenda in 3rd term. So that is what PM Modi said. Now, what is land reforms? So land reform actually means this actually idea was started just after the independence. And the intention was because just before that, there were a lot of zamindari systems. So there were huge inequality as far as land is concerned. It means some people had huge amount of land and some people were very small or no amount of land. So the concept of land reform was to reduce inequality as far as land ownership is concerned. Okay, so that was the main intention, to bring the land reforms. Okay. So in fact, and so that I mean there were a lot of laws were bought, land sealing acts. I mean that बहुत सारे laws लाए गए so that to regulate the lands owned by the zamindars and it should be given to the poor and all. इसमें बहुत सारे movement भी हुए थे. Like you must have heard about like Bhudan movement started by Vinoba Bhave, Gram Dan movement. So these were the movements also. Okay, so just have an idea. Now, since we are talking about reducing inequality, there's a line which says the state shall in particular direct its policy towards securing the operation of the economic system does not result in the concentration of wealth and means of production to the common detriment. So this line is mentioned where? Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, Part 4a. कहाँ पे mentioned है ये? Can you not tell me? Where it is mentioned? It is talking about minimizing concentration of wealth. If you tell me the article, I will be very happy. In fact, I have taught in the paid classes. Where it is mentioned? 9 schedule में भी बहुत सारे जमींदारी laws mentioned थे. Yes, you are right, Astha Vasti. A lot of laws related with land reforms were mentioned. But here, please answer it. Article? Yes. Part 4, DPSP, Directive Principle of State Policy, Article 39 talks about it. Yes, Alia Kausar, Astha Vasti, you all are right. Huh? So the DPSP clearly says they talk about these things and minimizing concentration of wealth, reduction of inequality, and equal pay for equal work. So these all are things mentioned here. So B is the right answer to this question. Yes. Okay. If you're watching this class, go in the description box. यहाँ पे one-on-one counseling session is there. So click on this and you will get this Google form. Everyone should fill this Google form. Our team will help you know about our courses and all different things. Now, एक और article थी नीचे में 10,000 genome project completed says government. So the Department of Biotechnology has said, has officially announced that 10,000 genome project was done to create a database of whole genome sequence out of India. देखो होता क्या है? So I hope you are aware DNA से ही gene बनता है ना? This is called as DNA, the double stranded and all like this है ना? So it forms gene है ना? And अगर पूरा जो जीन होता है कंप्लीट जीन सीक्वेंस जो होता है दिस इज एक्चुअली यूनिक फॉर एवरीवन एवरी ह्यूमन हैज अ यूनिक जीन सीक्वेंस राइट है ना तो अब उसमें होता है ये कि उसको डीएनए सीक्वेंसिंग का मतलब तो रीड कर देना पूरा इंटायर सीक्वेंस तो रीड द इंटायर जीन सीक्वेंस है ना ऑफ अ पर्सन है ना इसको जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग कहते हैं ना इससे फायदा कैसे बहुत सारा इफ इट बिकम सक्सेसफुल सो क्राइम रोकना आसान हो जाएगा इट इज इजी टू वेरीफाई द क्रिमिनल Okay. So second thing is disease में बहुत सारे disease cure में helpful होगा this would be. There are other reasons also. I mean the negative aspect is that it might compromise privacy. तो ये भी चीज़ है. So if the data is leaked to the public and all. So there are a lot of things. But genome sequencing के बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़ना because nowadays it is very much in the news. India's first sequence completed genome in 2006 and all. ठीक है. तो इसके बहुत सारे फायदे भी हैं. A lot of benefits are there and all. Now, on 3rd March at 11 a.m. in the morning, we'll be conducting a scholarship test. You will get up to 90% off if you qualify this test. And this is 2025 comprehensive course. If you have any query, call on this number. Okay. And 380 plus hours of live session, 300 plus recorded videos, etc. are there. You will be provided. And this is a test series also you can attempt for this year. Download our app, go to CLAT section, talk to our counselor पे जाओ, you will get to know more about our courses. और ये कुछ free session है, these all are free sessions. On our app you will find 28th February को 6 p.m. 5 steps to ACE CLAT 2025. 10th March को 6 p.m. पे 9 months to CLAT 2025. 13th March को how to start preparing for CLAT 2025. 24th March को why choose law as a career. ठीक है, then 27th March को CLAT 2025 how, what and why. Okay, let's move on to the editorial part. The global order affraying around many edges. Now, so here actually the author is talking about United Nations. Okay. So Antonio Guterres, he is actually the Secretary General of United Nations and he is ex-Prime Minister of Portugal. So I've seen in one exam this question was asked that the current UN Secretary General belongs to which country? So the answer is Portugal. Okay. So he's sounding increasing pessimistic about pessimistic मतलब negative view, negative thinking. और नॉट वेरी ऑप्टिमिस्टिक है ना ऑप्टिमिस्टिक ऑपोजिट हुआ मतलब बहुत ज्यादा उम्मीद नहीं है यूनाइटेड नेशन से उनको दैट इज व्हाट ही इज सेइंग एट द ओपनिंग ऑफ 55th रेगुलर सेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स काउंसिल ही सेड वी हैव सीन लैक ऑफ यूनिटी अमंगस्ट यूएनएससी मेंबर्स हैड परहैप्स फैटली अंडरमाइंड इट्स अथॉरिटी एंड ऑल तो एक्चुअली क्या है द मेन इंटेंशन ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशन व्हेन इट वाज मेड उनके प्रियम्बल में लिखा है कि व्हाट वाज द इंटेंशन ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशन टू प्रिवेंट द सक्सेसिव जनरेशन फ्रॉम स्कर्ज ऑफ वॉर. ये था ना, टू प्रिवेंट द सक्सेसिव जनरेशन फ्रॉम द स्कर्ज ऑफ वॉर. Okay, so this was the main idea behind United Nations. तो UN जो बनाया गया था वो इस नियत से बनाया गया था कि हुआ यह था कि I hope you are aware we had seen a lot of war. World War I हुआ, फिर World War II हुआ, so many people died, and that is why they decided 1939 to 45 that so many people died. So they decided, the world decided to come up with United Nations so that the main intention ये था that to stop the successive generation from the scourge of war. मतलब जो जंग से जो नुकसान होता है उसको खत्म करना है, उसको रोकना है, यही मेन इंटेंशन है. And he is saying that he's not happy with the lack of unity as far as amongst the UNSC members had perhaps fatally undermined authority. मतलब कि still war is happening. You are seeing Russia-Ukraine war happening, Israel-Palestine. So many people, human innocent people are dying and all. So still, I mean, United Nations is not able to do much. So these are the 5 UN Security Council members. So there is no unity. That is what he's highlighting. Okay, even on the important issues and all. So these are the things he's talking about. दूसरी जो क्रिटिसिज्म है जो इस आर्टिकल में मेंशन है, दैट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट जो है रिफॉर्म्स इन यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल. इफ यू सी इट केयरफुली, देखो आप गौर से देखोगे, फ्रांस, रशिया, यूके, दीज ऑल आर एक्चुअली फ्रॉम, देखो फ्रांस यहाँ है, यूके यहाँ है, रशिया भी हाफ इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ यूरोप, ठीक है. एंड देन हियर इज चाइना एंड देयर इज अमेरिका. ये ना 5 यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल का मेंबर. सो इफ यू सी इट केयरफुली, देयर इज नो रिप्रेजेंटेशन फ्रॉम साउथ अमेरिका, देयर इज नो रिप्रेजेंटेशन फ्रॉम अफ्रीका, कुछ है ही नहीं. एशिया में चलो तभी 1-2 रिप्रेजेंटेशन है. ओके, नाउ सो द फर्स्ट थिंग इज इट इज एक्चुअली नॉट डेमोक्रेटिकली हेल्दी, है ना, दैट यू आर नॉट रिप्रेजेंट, आई मीन द इंटायर अफ्रीका कॉन्टिनेंट इज नॉट रिप्रेजेंटेड as far as permanent members are concerned. Even South America is not represented. ठीक है. In fact, we have also raised the issue because we are the largest democracy of the world, है ना, largest population now as well. So we are also not represented. In fact, we have raised this issue again and again. ठीक है. यूरोप इज ओवरली रिप्रेजेंटेड, यूरोप में ज्यादा कंट्रीज हैं, अफ्रीका साउथ अमेरिका रिप्रेजेंट ही नहीं करता है. ठीक है. सो दीज आर ऑल्सो द थिंग्स, है ना, दिस बीइंग टॉक्ड अबाउट, है ना, at stake of this world, after the Second World War. So that is what she's going in history and all, that United Nations was formed and the main intention was to stop the people from the scourge of war and all. And the concept was principle of collective security and all, to provide protection. But if we see actually, the still wars are happening, people are actually dying and all. फिर वही 4 policemen की बात करें, again the same thing, that US, Soviet, UK, China and then Russia ना. So 5 total P5 members are there, है ना. So the permanent 5 members, that is what is being talked about. But still, actually, the war, the violence is happening, wars happening. Now, the author is talking about Bretton Woods Agreement. This also we teach in our paid classes. That Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944, Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, you will find it a place in USA. It resulted into the establishment of 3 things. World Bank, इसमें लिखा हुआ है ना, IMF and GATT, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, लिखा है ना, which was succeeded by WTO. Then it has been replaced by WTO in 1995. This I have taught in the paid classes. If you are my paid batch student, I will be teaching these things. ठीक है, कि जो ब्रेटन वुड्स एग्रीमेंट हुआ था उसके रिजल्ट में वर्ल्ड बैंक बना था, IMF बना था, GATT बना था, and GATT was later replaced by WTO in 1995. ठीक है. So these are the things being talked about here. ठीक है. Now there is a question for you. Where do we find the headquarters of United Nations? Geneva, New York, Hague, Washington DC. What is the right answer? यूएन का हेडक्वार्टर आपको कहां मिलेगा, कोई बता सकता है? देखो, यूनाइटेड नेशन हैज 6 प्रिंसिपल ऑर्गन, ठीक है. 5 ऑफ देम आर इन दिस सिटी एंड 1 इज इन सम अदर सिटी. हेडक्वार्टर ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशन, यू विल फाइंड इट इन न्यूयॉर्क, यूएसए. सो इसका 5 ऑर्गन है, 5 ऑर्गन का हेडक्वार्टर यहां है. 1 ऑर्गन ICJ इज हेडक्वार्टर्ड इन द हेग. But overall, the main headquarters of United Nations, you will find it in New York. ठीक है. So B is the right answer. Yes, Astha Avasthi, you are right. So where is India? This is US. यहाँ पर आपको मिलेगा न्यूयॉर्क, यहीं पे. So 5 ऑर्गन जो है यूएन का, उसका हेडक्वार्टर यहीं. एक जो है उसका हेडक्वार्टर यहाँ पर है, नेदरलैंड है. नेदरलैंड में you will find the Hague. And ICJ is headquartered here, International Court of Justice. ठीक है. Yes, Ramesh, Alia, Kausar, you all are right. B is the right answer to this question. ठीक है. No, so that is what is being talked about. The World Bank is always headed by an American citizen. Europe gets dominate IMF. The voting rights of members of fund are mutually frozen and also these are the things. अब देखो है क्या चीज इसमें ये बता क्या रहे कि जितने भी इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन है, so the famous international institution World Bank, IMF, इनके लिए यूज किया था they lack there is democratic deficit. Now what do you mean by the term democratic deficit? It means what it means. It means that there is not adequate representation of all the nations. In fact, Western nations like USA have more say. US, UK, America, England, and these, the European countries have more say, and the developing countries like BRICS countries have very small say. ना तो ये सब बता रहे हैं ना, तो ये सब बता रहे हैं. So that is what they have lesser say. Equal vote for everyone, do not get equal votes here. ठीक है, ठीक है. So सबको equal voting rights नहीं होता है. The more share you have, the more you have the voting rights and all. So these are the things being talked about. So then the author has talked about that the World Bank को counter करने के लिए, because World Bank is led by USA, है ना, and it is mostly US and Europe controlled. So the China has come up with Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB. ठीक है, so this you should be knowing it, है ना. So to counter it, the China has come up with its own Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank headquartered in Beijing. ठीक है. Okay, the next is decoding spending. Now, एक साइड में आर्टिकल था talking about a recent survey released by Statistics Ministry talking about household consumption. Household consumption मतलब एक आदमी अपने कंट्री में, मतलब इंडिया में कैसे किस तरह किस पैटर्न से खर्च करता है. ठीक है, so that is what the author is talking about. तो अब वो बता ये रहे कि 2017-18 का सर्वे आया था. So we had said, at that time that yes, there have been an impact of demonetization. तो वो सर्वे हो सकता है उतना क्लियर कट पिक्चर नहीं दे रहा because of demonetization. Similarly, the recent 2022-23 census also might not be telling the exact picture because of because of pandemic and all. तो जब से pandemic वगैरह आया था ना, तो consumption pattern change हो जाता है ना. So people were spending less, people were spending more in health services, people were spending more in buying sanitizer and mask and all. ठीक है, so people try to save the money more, है ना. So these things were there, है ना. So these are the things being talked about. अब उसमें ना वो पूरा डिटेल में क्या है कि किस तरह से एक्सपेंडिचर पैटर्न चेंज हुआ है. ठीक है, so the author is sweet, है ना. So the author is giving some examples कि कंज्यूमर एक्सपेंडिचर रोज 33.5%. अब इतना डिटेल आपको इसलिए नहीं जाना है because these things keep on changing and I don't think they will be asking these much things in detail. तो उसमें बस ये बता रहे हैं कि the government is signaling that there is rising income, narrowing inequality, and that is why we have seen the positive change in consumer expenditure and also these are the things. Just have an idea about it. ठीक है, इसमें उतना डिटेल ना दो. ठीक है, no need to go in detail. That is why I'm not going. The next is stop the dithering and encourage green elections. Now, जब भी बात ग्रीन की आती, whenever we talk about green, बोलते हैं ना ग्रीन कार, green crackers, green election, everything. When we talk about green, we are actually talking about environment friendly, eco friendly. तब ग्रीन इलेक्शन की क्या बात हो, मतलब actually the author is actually the member of Rajya Sabha and he was earlier a CAG also, former bureaucrat, and he is telling this that we need to encourage green elections or eco-friendly elections. Means we need to ensure that in elections minimum amount of pollution should happen or minimum amount of damage to environment happens. कम से कम damage environment का ऊपर हो जब election conduct किया जाए, because recently we'll be having elections है ना in few months. So amidst the climate change, shifting sustainable practices everywhere of human activity and all, in August 2023, ahead of Assembly election, Election Commission of India voiced the concern over environmental risk associated with the use of non-biodegradable materials in election, using parties candidates to avoid and all. So Election Commission of India ने भी कहा कि non-biodegradable substance नहीं use करना है ना. Okay, now what is non-biodegradable? Like non-biodegradable means if you actually, this is not degraded in the environment even for the next maybe 20, 30, 50, 100 years, like especially polythene, and polythene is considered as extremely harmful for the environment, right? So the Election Commission of India has raised the concern that yes, if the parties are fighting the election, they should not be using plastic, polythenes and all. जो होता है ना, कई बार जो पैम्फलेट बनाते हैं उसमें प्लास्टिक यूज होता है, पॉलिथीन यूज होता है. So and massive level of just when election happens, a lot of pamphlets are distributed, a lot of hoardings are being installed. So we need to ensure that those are not made up of any non-biodegradable substance like plastic, polythene and all. So these are the things. We have to ensure eco-friendly election, and recently we have seen an example of Sri Lanka and Estonia. ठीक है, तो उन्होंने example दिया Sri Lanka, Estonia you will find it in Europe. ठीक है, and Sri Lanka have conducted environmentally conscious elections. Means when they were conducting election, they ensured that minimum amount of damage should happen to the environment. As India is the world's most populous democracy gears up for the election, we must be prioritized. Our environmental consideration must be prioritized. हाँ, इंडिया में सबसे ज़्यादा आबादी, I hope you are aware, maybe around 140 crore and on, है ना? So we have to ensure that since this is a huge country and the massive level election is going to happen, we have to ensure that the environment damage should be as minimum as possible. The polythene or non-biodegradable substance should not be used in election process and all. So just for example, then in 2016 US presidential election happened. Emissions by campaign flights by just one candidate alone were equivalent to the carbon footprint of 500 Americans of that year. मतलब ये बता रहे हैं कार्बन फुटप्रिंट मतलब जैसे एक बंदा जितना पॉल्यूशन करता है उसके 500 गुना 500 times more actually the emission was done by, because when you are campaigning you are going by flights, plane से जाओगे इधर से उधर, है ना? So when you go by flights from here to there, of course it will cause pollution. So वही example is giving some examples and all. ठीक है. Then energy intensive light rallies, loudspeaker, PVS, banners, hoardings and all. अब ये सब में तो प्लास्टिक यूज होता है ना, hoardings, banners, disposable items है ना. So that is what is talking about. The green election को हम लोग को ensure करना चाहिए. We have to ensure because yes, environmental damage is actually happening. This is a reality and we have to ensure that minimum amount of damage should happen to the environment. है ना? तो यही बता रहे हैं. Robust infrastructure and also ये सब चीजें, these are the things he's talking about. So examples in Kerala, Sri Lanka, Estonia, successful examples of eco-friendly elections. He is giving an example. So like Kerala State Election Commission urged parties to avoid using single-use plastics. इसको तो ban भी कर दिए गए ना. Single-use plastic, but ऐसा plastic which is used only once and then you throw. जैसे बहुत सारी plastic bottle आती है, पानी पी के आप फेंक देते हो ना, वो वाला that's. So single-use plastic is considered as very deadly for the environment. In fact, it has been banned by the government also. So the Kerala State Election Commission ने भी कहा था कि आप whenever let's say political party is supposed not to use this while campaigning, है ना. Kerala High Court imposed a ban on flex and non-biodegradable materials in electioneering. So similar to that, yes, जैसे Kerala, Sri Lanka या Estonia में हुआ, we have to ensure it that this year also the general election is happening and we should ensure that minimum amount of this or non-biodegradable substance should not be used, है ना. So 2019 में Sri Lanka's political party, this is a party LPP, they have launched world's first carbon sensitive environmentally friendly election campaign. मतलब समझ लो इस पार्टी ने एक इलेक्शन कैंपेन में environment friendliness को एक मुद्दा बनाया था, right? Means it became a election issue in Sri Lanka, right? That we should be using the environment friendly election campaign, will be doing it, है ना? So these are the things he is talking about. उन्होंने कुछ suggestions वगैरह दिए, ठीक है? That electoral friendly होना चाहिए and all these other things, है ना? Now, burden of power search for superpower status does not drive India's space exploration. देखो अब देखो क्या है? I hope you are aware. We have already discussed it. Said we have actually announced 4 Indians to be going into the space, है ना? चारों का नाम भी है ना? We have already discussed it in the initial portion of the class. That mission will be called as Gaganyaan mission, where humans will be sent inside the space, है ना? And we have tested launch vehicle Mark 3. इसी पर जाएंगे और what we call it as GSLV Mark 3 in 20. So we are testing these things and all. So because of COVID also things got slightly disturbed and all. ठीक है, ये सब बता रहे हैं. So okay, then so PM Modi has also said that we will be again landing on moon by 2040 also, है ना? This also we have discussed it. Then we have said कि है ना, जो इसमें लिखा होगा गगनयान मिशन. So Somnath, Mr. S. Somnath is the ISRO chief. He has said that we are planning to set a first module of India's space station by 2028 and complete it by 2035. So we are launching our own space station as well, है ना? And humans will be sent by under Gaganyaan mission by 2025, लिखा ना? 400 किलोमीटर यानी अर्थ से 400 किलोमीटर के अवे लो अर्थ ऑर्बिट पे, ठीक है. So this Gaganyaan mission will be sent for 3-day mission. It will be a 3-day mission. So humans will be sent most likely next year in 2025. That Gaganyaan mission. Okay. So let's see. Wait for that. Okay, the next is Pakistan election, 4 provinces, mixed result, 1 message. अब इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना है पाकिस्तान के इंटरनल इलेक्शन के बारे में. Just we have discussed about the national elections that there are 333 है ना, and they need half cross करने के लिए 168 is half, so you need 169 to have your prime minister. So most likely PMLN and PBP are making alliance. These things we have discussed it in yesterday's class. So go and watch yesterday's class. We have discussed it. Yes, this is important. National Science Day is observed on, very, very important, 26 February, 27, 28, 1st March. National Science Day कब मनाया जाता है? Anyone? कोई बता सकता है? Yes, Sheikh Salman, that would be helpful for Jamia LLB as well, right? Of course. COT Aligarh में भी, yes. National Science Day is on 28th February because on 28th February 1928, Dr. C.V. Raman came up with Raman effect. And 2 years later in 1930, he got Nobel Prize in Physics for that. Okay, please tell me the theme. इस साल यानी 28 फरवरी 2024 को नेशनल साइंस डे सेलिब्रेटेड. व्हाट इज द थीम? यस रमेश आस्था बस्ती, यू आर राइट. सी इज द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन. ठीक है. नेशनल साइंस डे इज ऑब्जर्व इंडिजिनस टेक्नोलॉजीज फॉर विकसित भारत. सो सी इज द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन. ठीक है. इसी पर आर्टिकल वाई साइंस नीड सस्टेनेबल फंडिंग, तो वो एक्चुअली दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस, है ना. The 28th February is celebrated as National Science Day and all. Okay. And yes, there's a plan that, so PM Modi has said that by 2047, India, we have our plan to make India a developed nation. Okay. Okay. Yes. Now, these are some of the questions posed by the Hindu newspaper. So you can answer it. Daily quiz at thehindu.co.in पर ही आंसर करते हैं ये सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर. ठीक है. Go and find out and answer it. मैं बस एक क्वेश्चन का आप आंसर बता दो. Who is considered as the father of Indian nuclear program? He was the founding director of Atomic Energy Establishment. Question number 3 का आंसर आप अभी बता दो. Rest of the answer you can answer it after the class is over in the comment section. So नीचे आप बता देना. इसका आंसर बताओ. Father of Indian nuclear program. देखो father of Indian space program मैंने अभी बताया. Father of Indian space program जो है वो है विक्रम साराभाई, है ना. I have discussed it I think half an hour back. विक्रम साराभाई. But here the question is father of Indian atomic program or nuclear program. What is the answer? जिनके नाम पर बार्क है, भाभा atomic research center. So his name is Homi Jahangir Bhabha. Homi J Bhabha. Yes, Astha Vasti, very good. So you know it. बाकी सारे आंसर का go and find out, answer it in the comment section. या उनको मेल भी कर सकते हो, है ना. So you can mail the answers and all. Okay, so this is all about today's class. Please subscribe to our channel, follow us Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and download the BYJU'S exam prep app. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.